Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Welcome back to the ONN Presidential Democracy Kiosk Debate. If you're just tuning in, tonight, in an historic first, Americans can ask any question at any time just by stepping into one of the thousands of Democracy kiosks we've placed in front of 7-Elevens across the country. Decatur, Illinois, let your voice be heard.
Hi, everybody. My name's Joe Crawford, and my question is, how many taco and cheese taquitos do you think I can eat in 60 seconds?
Kevin, have we screened all of these? We haven't? But we can? We can't. Great. Straight from the heart of America, raw and unfiltered, Rockville, Maryland, to Boulder, Colorado.
This is the most powerful sword in the planet.
So, we really can't screen these things, Kevin? Not at all. Okay, then I think I'll just ask a question of my own. What's that? Okay, no, I won't. Austin, Texas.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
And the coronavirus, of course, still reigns as champion in the news. But there is other stuff going on.
The what?
Finally, the coronavirus.
Oh, you're talking about the Kung flu. Oh, okay,
yes,
I got it.
The boomer doomer, as I prefer.
Boomer.
So, obviously, it's hard to escape that. I did find some stuff that gets away from it. Of course, last night we found the story about the dog being taught how to drive, and that was fantastic.
Excellent.
But it looks like Satoshi Nakamoto, who is the anonymous creator of Bitcoin, may also have created Monero. And that's not an April Fool's joke. There is an April Fool's joke going around that Craig Wright proved himself to be Satoshi. But
I fell for that earlier.
Really, I saw it and I was like, it's April the 1st. I'm not even going to bother to click it.
I completely forgot what day it was.
It happens. But we didn't really get into anything in our actual show prep yesterday. Evidently, a restaurant in Los Angeles has been shut down for selling groceries without a permit.
You don't say.
Or that could be Louisiana, but I imagine it's Los Angeles. Yeah. So a few Los Angeles restaurants struggling to maintain footing amid the COVID-19 outbreak identified a clever way to generate revenue while still serving the community: to start selling groceries. The city's public health department promptly shut them down. The reason? The small businesses didn't have a grocery permit. And here's the best part. It's not really possible for a restaurant to become a grocery store. Dr. Barbara Ferrer, director of the Los Angeles County Public Health, said in a briefing, you cannot just decide you want to sell groceries.
Yeah, you have to ask for permission, apparently.
But isn't that amazing? What implications does that have for all of the farmer markets, presumably that don't exist in the state of California?
Or lemonade stands, too. I mean, you hear about lemonade stands getting shut down by the police, so it only makes sense that they're going to shut down groceries. Because how dare they provide nourishment and nutrition to people, especially during a time of crisis? I mean, how irresponsible of them to be doing this.
It's ridiculous, and it all comes together with that exact mindset. I mean, these restaurants were put out of business by the government, and they're like, okay, then we'll become essential, we'll sell groceries. And the government said, no, you can't just sell groceries.
Not without the right permit.
Yeah, and in California, that's a nightmare to deal with.
So they got to beg Guido for another permit to do whatever it is, or he's going to come and take more money.
Who is Guido?
I'm referring to the government there as a gang.
Okay.
So as if the mafia, well, you kind of know what they're doing, though, as they're in town. They're really clear about it. You pay me or else. But not with the government there.
So the restaurants turned grocery stores provide a rather obvious public health benefit. They are significantly less crowded than traditional grocery stores, which is convenient when considering that every major health organization has advised individuals to maintain a 6-foot distance from surrounding people, which I don't know if either. Did you go to the Concord thing today?
I did not.
I know you didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't either. But I'm curious if social distancing was maintained there.
I would think not.
I know it wasn't when we met here in Central Square on Friday, which thankfully I will be there again this Friday. I didn't expect to be.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine the people that are going out when they're told not to be going out would be also distancing themselves.
Well, I think the social distancing issue is kind of different from the obey the government issue, right?
I have no idea. If it says this, the places I've seen today had signs that said CDC, blah, 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 6 feet, blah, blah, blah. So CDC is a government agency, so I would think the same people doing what they're not being told to do, it didn't come out right.
Six feet is the lowest I've seen. Like I've seen other people or other like signs suggesting like 3 meters, which is 9 feet. So I've seen 5 meters, which is 15 feet, and all sorts of insane things. You can't. I mean, especially in our society, you can't do anything meaningful with someone from 15 feet away unless you have 2 cans and a string.
I'm starting to think maybe that's part of what the conspiracy here is, to keep people from actually making physical contact. Because I know from my own experience and other people's that like physical contact, hugs, those sort of social interactions certainly help to bring people down, more calm, have longer, happier lives. I mean, I'm sure everybody here likes some form of social contact.
Sure, but it's up to the individual to decide whether or not they want to obey this. But
Yeah,
it's definitely unusually restrictive. Like, according to the government, if you're not living with someone, then you have to stay 6 feet away from them. I think should would be a better choice of word there than have, but it's absurd to think that you've been dating this person for 6 months or whatever, and the government doesn't want you to even hug them or even come within 6 feet of them.
What's more absurd is that someone would listen to that.
It is absurd. I know lots of people who are listening to it, though, and it's scary.
I fell for it a little bit in the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, it felt pretty good to just stop falling for it.
What feels pretty good for me is going out in public and there only being like 5 or 6 other people out. I'm loving that. I hope that never changes.
Traffic is great.
Everyone else can stay the hell at home, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, me either.
And as long as everyone else doesn't stay at home, it's fine. But we do need an economy, and the government seems to be hard at work to destroy that.
Yeah, because I think this is a economy that's based on buying things. Like there's not a lot of savers there. So there's a lot of service industries and things like that. I don't know how long it can go like this.
It depends on how much money the Fed can print. Of course, they've promised unlimited support for the economy. Unlimited money printing is essentially what they've said.
Yeah,
and this has
fronts.
people cheering. They're excited.
Yep, that's Keynesianism, right? That's what it's all about.
When it's to keep the stock market afloat, which, and most people listening, or at least I'd hope they'd realize that for the most part of the stock market, I think it's like, 90% of people who are in the stock market are like already incredibly wealthy and like, up at the top. But because of 401ks and people's retirement plans and everything, the economy, at least the U.S. economy, heavily depends on the stock market. So it's even if it was just this whole pumping money in was just to get a few people rich, right? Like the people who get the money from the Federal Reserve first. I understand why. Let's see. I'm trying to be careful with my words here. Fiscally conservative or fiscal-minded people would support the stimulus package, right? Because if the stock market goes to pre-2016 levels, they say it might start a depression, like worse than the 2008 Great Recession.
I expect a depression to come out of this. I mean, half of I don't know what the exact numbers are, but a large portion of American businesses have been completely put out of work. And a lot of these people have no savings whatsoever. So they have no money. And they're going to get this $1,200 check, and it's going to be gone, and they're going to need more money. It's just not going to be sustainable.
Nope.
And the debt that stimulus package is creating outweighs the money that people get from the Trump buck check anyways. So, I mean, and I don't think anyone realistically expects that the country's actually going to pay the national debt back. But let's say, let's say if it was, I think it's like around like for every $1,200 check, the American people are going to have to pay back something like $6,000 because all the rest of the pork in the stimulus bill was like 9%. 9% of all the money from that stimulus bill, or at least the most recent one, I think we're talking about having a second one come out of phase 4. That's what Trump called it. But 9% actually went to, the everyday average American people. The rest of it went to $25 million for the Kennedy Art Center in the coronavirus stimulus relief package. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. The fact that Washington, D.C. isn't on fire right now because of, 91% of that stimulus package going to corrupt ends is, I mean, it just shows that maybe this country deserves the virus, or the majority of the people deserve to have their freedom taken.
Well, it seems pretty easy to buy off the American people with their own money. Strange as though that is, it's like they're going to pay this back one way or another, whether it's through inflation or through increased taxes or whatever. All of this $1,200 is going to get paid back.
I believe that bill got unanimous approval. Like there wasn't one senator or congressman, whatever.
Well, there wasn't enough there to even constitute a quorum, according to Thomas Knapp, who heads the Rational Review News Digest.
Yeah, but the fact that nobody voted.
Well, nobody was there.
There was enough people there to vote for it.
It was like the income tax amendment all over again. It's like, hey, let's get not really enough people in here. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and you can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733, and with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
And we have someone who we personally know who has been affected by the COVID-19, SARS-2, coronavirus, whatever it is they're calling it these days. Mark, what's travel like out there?
Well, I got to say, it's not very easy. Yesterday, I got a text that said from United Airlines, that's the airlines I prefer to use if I can, and they said they were canceling my flight from Sarasota, Florida to Reagan Airport, or maybe it was Dulles. I'm not sure which one it was. And then rerouted me through Chicago O'Hare. Well, then they canceled within 2 hours, maybe an hour. They canceled the flight from O'Hare to Bradley, which is the airport that I generally come in at, and more or less said, well, good luck putting that together. So then I went online, I called them up or whatever, and managed to move my flight a couple of days back to Sunday now. Hopefully I will be able to be on the show. But it's yeah, I mean, who knows whether that's going to happen. I'm just waiting for a text that says that airline, that's flight's canceled, and that, I watched Trump on the television here, and they're apparently shutting down a certain level of travel. People are being quarantined and all that stuff.
You can still drive,
I'm just
right?
wondering, well, when are the state troopers going to be put at the interstate is what my question is.
Yeah, I heard that they were stopping some people in Vermont yesterday.
Well, I understand the immense drawing power of the Green Mountain State, but, can't imagine why they're stopping people and what they expect to fix by doing it.
I want to make sure you're listening.
It's, right. I don't know. And you guys were talking about social distancing. I heard 3 feet originally, because what they're concerned with is people who spit when they talk, getting little droplets out there, perhaps a rogue sneeze if somebody isn't able to cover completely or whatever.
Well, sneezing travels way past 3 feet. It goes, I think, like 15 feet is the range for a sneeze.
Right. That's why if somebody's attempting to projectile sneeze at you in a sort of terrorist fashion, the 6 feet isn't going to do that much.
Sneeze terrorism. That's a new one.
Somebody's going to get carded for that, or they're going to get a ticket for that.
Well, the people who are out there, it's hard for me to feel bad for somebody out there who's like, I'm going to lick the deodorant or whatever. Screw them. But
yeah, and I guess there were roadblocks into Florida. We're backed up 4 hours.
To get into Florida?
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, roadblocks into Florida were backed up 4 hours.
Because today the governor announced in Florida that there's going to be a stay-at-home order. Which makes sense because Florida has like some of the oldest population in the country, right? All these old geezers, they go to Florida to retire because it's warm there. So one would think that Florida would have gone under like total shutdown weeks ago.
Well, I would hope I wouldn't have to tell my grandmother during the outbreak of a virus that could kill her that she needs to stay at home.
Well, you know,
and I
old
certainly
people
don't need
are
the government to.
Yeah, most of the people I saw out today that were older, like they didn't seem to care at all. They were opening doors for me, and we're getting way within that 6 foot or 3 foot range.
That's good. Now, is that because they're like, well, I've already got 1 foot in the grave anyway?
Yeah, maybe. I think the natives here are kind of hardcore, so maybe they ain't scared.
My mother's been at the house basically, hair appointments. I mean, we do have to have our priorities straight. Except for hair appointments, been at the house for the last 3 weeks, basically. So I guess it just depends on what chances you're willing to take.
I can say it's been kind of nice just doing some stuff around the house.
Oh, yeah, I've been social distancing for the last decade. So all these people are all upset about it. I don't really understand. I'm hoping this does away with handshaking. I really am of the opinion handshakes are they're disgusting and not for any particularly good reason. You know, here you are, the dirtiest parts of your body are among them, and then you're shaking them with the other people, grabbing them and whooshing them around with other people's dirty bits, and then you know, at some point or another, you scratch your face, get close to your mouth or your eye or whatever it is that you're doing, and then why do that? I think a hug is more sanitary than a handshake.
You know what the origin of a handshake was, right? Why it became a custom in Western society?
It's to check for daggers, right?
Yeah. So since most people were right-handed or would wield their weapons for right hand, it would show it's a sign of trust, right? That you're not going to immediately pull out your sword and kill the person. Yeah. So it's maybe a little bit archaic now, but we still have handshakes. Same thing with was it taking your hat off when you see someone or come inside? It's when someone would be wearing a helmet, right? If they wanted to get entry into your castle, they would remove their helmet so you could see, people could see your face, and it showed that you were intending to do diplomacy and not fight.
I'm of the opinion as well that handshakes need to die, but it's because there are so many people out there who insist that you can learn everything you need to know about a person by shaking their hand. And that's the most moronic thing I've ever heard in my life. But there are people out there who genuinely believe it. Let me look a guy in the eye and shake his hand, and I'll know everything there is to know about him. I don't think you will.
And when you say people,
no,
do you
I don't
mean
think
boomers?
Not all of them. Some Gen Xers.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, especially in the South.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I can say at some points I thought I was a handshake guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I like being close to somebody so that I can look them in the eye while I'm talking to them about business. I think that tends to result in better things. However, I wouldn't presume that it was just the handshake that did it.
Sure. And that's certainly better, than just thinking that the amount of strength in their grip or whatever is an accurate gauge of character.
Yeah, knuckle crusher.
Oh, I hate that stuff. That whole, let's play this game where we can see who's stronger than the other person. No, I mean, I'm not your workout equipment pal. You want to go increase your grip, go to the gym. Leave me alone.
That's something a beta male would say.
You know what a beta male actually is? The beta male is the guy that the alpha male actually has to worry about, right? Like he skulks about waiting for the alpha to get a little older or to lose his grip, and then he's enduing all of the females in the alpha's absence and those kind of things. It's the omega males out there that people are actually calling betas.
So Ian's your alpha?
I can't imagine for a second that that's the case. Breeding opportunities and Ian don't really go in the same sentence.
Okay, thanks for shutting down my brain, both of you. I appreciate that. So your flights are canceled. I was surprised to even see that you were able to fly out of the Marianas Islands when you did, but welcome back to the land of the cowering in their homes in fear.
Be afraid.
And hopefully you can get back.
Afraid.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'm hoping I can get back by Sunday.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing you, and I hope you can get back up here as well. Of course, the freak out among people is not making things easy. You should be able to drive somewhere. You should be able to get a flight. But instead, panic is making everything shut down. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey.
Who do you think you are?
Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait on account. Now. Wait a minute.
Forget it.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me.
What
am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
And Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform that you can find at local.bitcoin.com that allows you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash using dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. So finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Again, that's local.bitcoin.com. Now, the coronavirus hoax is what I don't want to say a lot, some people are saying.
I see more and more saying it.
And I understand where they're coming from. It's hard to know who is telling the truth here, right?
Very hard.
Because on the one hand, you do look at the internet and you see videos of empty testing centers in places like New York City. But on the other hand, you look in the news and it's filled with, hospitals loading bodies into trucks.
Some of that footage was from Italy, I've heard, that they're saying it's New York, but it's actually from Italy.
I think I don't remember the news agency now who did that, but I think they admitted to doing that.
No, I didn't know. That'd be a first they admit to lying, right? Because, I mean, these people aren't above it, and I don't mean to derail it, but remember when the Kurds were under attack by the Turkish or something happened, and I think it was like CBS or one of these big three-letter news agencies played footage of this apocalyptic battle and like tracer, machine gun bullets, explosions, and it turns out that footage, they said, this is footage from Turkey that was sent to us, and it turns out that footage was from the United States at a machine gun shootout. Yep. Where people were shooting tannerite. So, did they have some big scandal where they admitted that they were wrong and people got fired? Oh, absolutely not. They just brushed it under the rug. So I wouldn't be surprised if all of them are showing fake footage, and if they get caught, they're just not going to say anything.
Well, CBS has admitted to using footage from Italy in its New York City coronavirus report. But this isn't the first time that this has happened, and there were no repercussions whatsoever. Like when Black Lives Matter was marching over Ferguson, Missouri, you had the victim's sister out there saying, we need to march into their suburbs and burn these white people's houses down. And CNN edited it in such a way so it sounded like she was calling for peace. And they played that. Then the original video came out and CNN was like, we didn't mean to edit it so that we completely inverted her message. That was totally an accident. We were just editing for time and content. Yes, you were indeed editing for content. And CNN didn't even come out and say that. They had one of their unpopular, not well-known news anchors tweet it as a way of taking responsibility for it. So, I mean, they can make up whatever they want, and they can mislead people however they want. And there's freedom of the press, I guess.
Yeah, but that's why this hoax stuff is so it's hard to tell if it is real, because the same people telling that this war footage is real are also the same people taxing by theft, and the news agencies, I think, are just mouthpieces for the state. I mean, they're regulated entities that have had to beg for permission to do business, and the person granting them the permission to do business without the threat of violence is the government. So it would make sense that they would not refuse any request that the state said, hey, this is what you're going to put out.
Unfortunately, so what is I've heard a lot of different things. I've heard that no one's sick. I've heard that everyone's sick because of 5G. I've heard that no one died in China. I've heard that way more people than admitted died in China, and they were burning people in the streets. I've heard they were using it as an excuse to round up dissidents. Probably true, regardless of the state of the virus. And I've heard that everything in between. So what is this person claiming? What is the hoax here, and do they contradict themselves?
We'll have to find out if they contradict themselves. This is from Jeff Berwick over at the dollarvigilante.com. dollarvigilante.com. The title here is Corona Hoax Pandemic Proven Fake, yet the lockdowns continue, and here's why.
Proven fake.
I was going to prove it.
This is going to be good. I cannot wait. Breaking news here on Free Talk Live. We're proving the coronavirus is a hoax.
Yeah, and I would definitely
claims require extraordinary evidence.
Yeah, I would definitely say this probably people would consider this a conspiratorial type website, but what's the saying about coincidences and conspiracies?
I have no idea.
Like being a coincidence theorist.
That Vincent made.
Which
extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
That
came from the atheist experience.
I was going to say, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. My buddy Dave told me that.
Also true.
So it was just over 10 years ago that the swine flu epidemic was a hot topic in the media, and I remember it all too well. A few years after, up in communist Canada, my mom got the swine flu vaccine and subsequently got sick. Not only that, but she was never able to walk again after it was given to her, and her health just deteriorated from until she passed away last year. But my mother wasn't the only one to experience such negative and severe side effects. After doing a search for swine flu, can't walk shortly thereafter, I found out that many people had similar experiences. One story that made mainstream headlines back then was a cheerleader for the Washington Redskins who ended up not being able to walk or read very well after being administered the vaccine. Fortunately, she was okay. She was healed through chelation therapy after a doctor suspected she was being poisoned by mercury in the vaccine. I bring up swine flu because that's what's going on now is eerily reminiscent of what's going on back with, well, I'm public school educated, so this is a bit hard for me to read sometimes.
No worries.
Was going on back then with people all around, all over the place, using face masks and a general state of fear. To me, it seems like some of previous outbreaks were just test runs leading up to much bigger pandemic scare like the one we're currently watching unfold. Especially because of many of the past televised outbreaks took place before the Rockefeller Institute's Orwellian brainchild Lockstep was born into 2010. Here comes the conspiracy stuff. Apart from a glaring initiative like Lockstep in which the elites are brazenly overt about their intentions for more authoritarianism in the world, more and more daily evidence keeps mounting up showing just how much of a scam this whole martial law plan is. Several videos on YouTube have exposed the difference between what people are told by mainstream media is happening in New York City, ostensibly the biggest hotspot of the outbreak in the U.S., and what is actually happening. The picture being painted of New York, Brooklyn, and Westchester County, or country, on CNN by other MSM prostitutes is vastly different than the reality on the streets. The television programming keeps saying the hospitals are packed, that New York Governor Cuomo is worried that they're going to hit capacity, that they don't have enough ventilators, and that generally speaking, the greater New York area is in a complete crisis.
Well, let's not forget how easy it is to manipulate people with pictures. I mean, if you take a picture of an empty corner, you can, portray a room as being empty. But if you turn around and you take a picture somewhere else of like 15 people crowded together having a conversation, as often was accused during the 2016 election, you can make an empty room look full or a full room look empty.
Yeah, and just because people see it on the internet, I mean, obviously there's some truth, but there's also some easy ways to cheat people who don't know how to fact check or don't even try.
And there's a lot of that on the internet. People will see something on Facebook and just click it and share it no matter how stupid it is.
Yeah, they run with it. It takes a lot of work to, go and find out if something is true.
Or just because there's a picture of a portrait of a person and text underneath it, people automatically think that that's a quote of theirs. For me, that's the worst ones, because a lot of the times it's easy just to look up, okay, did this person say this? Is there any primary source, or is it apocryphal or anecdotal, or is it a total absolute fabrication?
More often than not, the latter. My favorite one is a picture of the dog that says meow. Said the dog.
Yep.
It's like a quote attributed to the dog. It's like, that's generally what happens. People don't care. And it's too much trouble to actually take 12 seconds of their life to Google something to find out whether or not it's true.
Some of them are pretty cool, so it's fun to run with it real quick.
Luckily, there are independent fact checkers out there who will gladly point out on the internet that you're wrong if you happen to share one of these things. So I guess there is that. There's the...
Lots of keyboard warriors.
Yeah. 855-450-3733. More about the, quote, hoax in a moment.
Do you feel like many of us? All the distractions in the world taking our minds and focus off what really needs to get done day to day? Well, Jeunesse has a dietary supplement called Mind to help with mental distraction, and it supports memory function. Go to gcnlife.com now to check it out. You're only at your best when your mind is at its best. Go to gcnlife.com or call toll-free 844-443-6637. That's gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Attention all radio listeners who still need food supplies. If you've thought about the implication of food-related supply chain disruptions and are concerned about the coming quarantines, this will be the most important message you will ever hear. Here's why. In the next few days, all Americans will face extremely hard choices. If we've learned anything from China and Italy, it's that quarantines and enforced lockdowns are just a few days away here in the U.S. Listen, while dehydrated food is becoming scarce, you can still get enough open pollinated heirloom seeds to grow a 1-acre crisis garden. The truth is, growing nutrient-dense vegetables in the days ahead may actually be the single most important thing you do. Go to survivalseedbank.com and watch the new video to understand the nature of the threat. This could be life-saving. Lockdowns can last from 6 to 8 weeks. Get free bonus seeds, special quarantine reports too. Go to survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com.
Hi, I'm Dan Pilla. I started fighting the IRS over 40 years ago when they tried to seize my mother's house. I sued the IRS and won. I beat the IRS then, and I've been beating them ever since. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I've helped thousands of people deal with tax problems they thought might never be solved. I can help you too. If you owe taxes you can't pay, don't wait another day. There's no such thing as a hopeless tax case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com, danpilla.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and you can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733, and with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
And I just noticed your shirt. I love your shirt.
Meow.
Yeah, it's got a cute little kitty on it who is doing something that cats hate doing, which is being underwater, but he's wearing goggles, so it's okay.
Yeah, this is, I have a monkey that really likes this shirt. Molly Monkey.
You have a monkey?
No, I've just recently started calling her Monkey.
Okay.
I have a 2-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah. She did something the other day, and it was like, I was like, oh, you're such a good monkey. She's like, monkey?
I would not be surprised by a libertarian telling me they had a pet monkey, though. So I was just going to go with it.
Well, sometimes, we can lose our cool or whatnot, and I always blame it like on my monkey brain, just going a little bit unreasonable.
Sure.
So I comparing the kids or myself to monkey makes things a little bit funner.
Okay. Well, speaking of things that are unreasonable, this guy has decided that everything about the coronavirus is unreasonable. And as you were showing me during the break, he has this picture that he claims are warehouses full of ventilators that are just sitting empty. Well, not empty, but sitting unused.
Yeah, the meme says sitting in New York.
Yeah. And of course, it's just pictures of boxes. There's no telling what's in them.
Nope.
It could be sex toys for all we know. It more than likely is, knowing New York. But it's probably not ventilators.
Yeah, there's no way of telling. I mean, I guess you could list references for things you were going to quote, but I don't know how you would list references for a picture.
Well, ideally, the person who took the picture would have made a video of them opening up some of the boxes and revealing that, hey, these are ventilators.
Yeah, that would make it easier.
Well, I mean, and not that I have any reason to defend it, but in their defense, it might be that for not a lot of times people freak out anytime anyone has a camera, right? I'd be at like the supermarket just taking pictures of the empty shelves, right? And people say, "What are you doing?" And I think it could be in this case that this person could stand to lose their job if they get caught taking a picture of this. But I mean, who knows? And that's the issue, right? Instead of that's why like what they say, a picture could was a picture beats 1,000 words. Well, a video beats 1,000 pictures. Actually, in fact, a video is thousands of pictures.
Yeah,
depends on how long the video is.
Yeah, and the frame rate and everything. I mean, 1 second of video is like 30 pictures, so we have to do the math here.
Yeah, and to be clear, the dollar vigilante is not, I wouldn't say he's pro-American, not pro-state anything. So anything that's coming from there is going to be...
Well, I'm not pro-state anything either, but I am pro not believing in stupid crap, I guess.
I'm not pro-state, but I do have a prostate. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just had to say that.
But that goes right along with the prostitutes he was talking about.
But so talking about CBS, who's made, he continues actually talking about the CBS that we were talking about here, Sky News, which is British here in the rest of the article.
Yep, but on the other hand, while Governor Cuomo was telling the media President Trump couldn't get him enough ventilators, the New York state government was quietly storing loads of them. That's the meme we were just talking about. Then you've got CBS, who made a huge propaganda blunder yesterday when they aired an image of New York City hospital room occupied by numerous patients. It turns out the hospital was actually an older image aired previously on Sky News of hospitals seemingly overwhelmed at capacity in Bergamo, Italy. That's what you were just talking about.
And it has been evidently definitively demonstrated that CBS did this, and they actually issued a statement admitting to it, according to the New York Post.
Yeah, that's almost like when what do you call it when you print something and then you come back later, like a retraction?
Yeah, a retraction. Which usually a lot of the times, like the New York Times, they'd put the retractions on like page 6 where no one bothers to look at it. It's even the newspaper I worked for, the college paper, would do that. It's very disgusting.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine it gets as many views as the "if it bleeds, it leads" line.
I would like to see the actual New York City hospitals, though. If CBS would be so kind as to actually provide us with the evidence that they're claiming to provide us with.
I'm surprised they even did what you said they did about saying that, they admitted doing that.
Well, if somebody can prove that a photograph is older and came from a hospital in Italy, then CBS doesn't really have much choice.
Yet, as you'll see in one of the video clips included in my Walk and Talk video with Lucy, that's his dog he's talking about, and is also in this clip of a guy talking to the ambulance workers outside New York Presbyterian hospitals. The hospitals are nowhere near capacity. Not only that, there isn't anyone queuing up outside in a waiting line for a test or treatment.
Now, I did watch this video, and I was surprised. It did compile a few different people who went around to hospitals in New York, particularly where these testing facilities were, and found them to be completely and totally empty. Not even any staff there.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a ghost town.
So I don't know if that's the status in hospitals throughout New York, but it was the status at least 2 of them, according to the videos that I've seen.
And have either of you seen the Project Veritas video? I believe it was dropped yesterday, where James O'Keefe and Project Veritas, you might have heard of, they have like these undercover videos getting certain media and political people to admit all sorts of abhorrent things. So James O'Keefe, the founder, he took a video of himself driving into one of the National Guard, New York National Guard testing centers, right? And he had the camera rolling and he was asking the guardsmen some questions, and he asked if it was as bad as the media was saying, and the guard essentially said no.
Yeah, he's right there, so he gets to see it all.
They're setting up one of those here in Keene. Well, they're testing.
Oh, at the college, yeah. I've been meaning to go and see, go there and see what they're up to, right? Because I think they're housing some of the guards on campus. There was when we passed by. I passed by campus just a few weeks ago. They had they're blocking any sort of vehicle traffic in. So I'm kicking myself. I should have but by tomorrow's show, I'll go back to campus and see what's going on. That I'll promise.
Excellent. Keep us posted. I know that a lot of the military people are staying at some of the hotels here in Keene, on taxpayer expense, of course. But even if they were at the dorms here in Keene State, it would still be at taxpayer expense.
You say a lot of the military people. You mean like what sort of numbers are you talking about?
A lot of the military people who are here in Keene.
Like 40?
I have
50,
no idea how
hundreds?
many are here in Keene, but I do know because I have a friend who works at the hotel that those who are in here, most of them are at the hotels.
I wonder if they're being dispatched with weapons. Like if they're, if they have weapons that they're leaving with.
It would probably not be a good idea for them to do that in New Hampshire.
Well, you would think not, but usually I know
because we're already paranoid. We're so paranoid about this that before they even came here, the city council or Dragon or whoever it was coming out saying, hey, look, don't shoot them when they get here. They're just coming here to do a thing, and then they'll be gone.
You mean a government official telling you not to panic?
Yes.
That's when you're supposed to panic, I'm told.
No, you're not supposed to panic until other libertarians are telling you need to sit down, shut up, and obey the government.
Yes.
That's the moment when you panic.
You haven't had that happen yet.
You said you're not on Facebook, right?
Correct.
Okay, well, there you have it.
Okay. That's where they're assembling. It's all of those Gary Johnson, Bill Weld type libertarians who want to legitimize the Libertarian Party in the eyes of the masses, the ones who hate firm and supreme. They want to play the political game, and they hate us passionately.
Yeah, I think I've met some people like that.
Yeah.
Think about that.
And so these libertarians are out there now saying, hey, there's a time for civil disobedience, but that time isn't now. Now you should just obey the government. And these are libertarians.
I mean, if we had, so I saw a video. I forgot the guy's name, but he's running for Senate, and he said they had he's had a few MIT degrees. He sounded like a really smart guy. He was pretty much kind of anti-vaccine. The point being is that he sounded like a very smart individual, and he sounded like he was sort of for the people, if you will, or some sort of government that I would support.
Is he the guy who wears the taxation is fat top hat? Was it that guy?
I don't know. Dr. Shiva or something like that, maybe?
Oh, is it? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's running as an independent. I think originally as a Republican, he's running as an independent in Massachusetts against Elizabeth Warren. Yeah. He's a pretty bright guy. Interesting. Obviously, his independent run failed, but
so if there was if a government existed and had people like that in it. Then maybe I would be more open to the advice that it's offering to me. But when it's commanding me and it's the people that are in there now, it's no way, man.
Well, advice from an intelligent person whose opinion you trust is fundamentally different from an order from a government. Like if somebody I know and trust gave me advice on what to do, I would make the choice whether or not to take that advice and whether or not to do as they suggested. But if a government tells me that I have to do something, I don't get to make a choice.
Well, you instantly question it. That's for sure.
There is that.
You think it's the opposite.
But in the end, if they want to push it to that point, I either obey or they murder me.
Yeah, they have the guns.
Yeah, so there's no free will there. There's no independent, autonomous decision. It's just obey or die.
Yep.
855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,591, silver at $14.03, and Bitcoin is trading around $6,250. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Rikers Island prisoners are being offered incentives to dig mass graves. That's according to a report from The Intercept and confirmed by Avery Cohen, a spokesperson for the office of New York Mayor Bill de Blasio. The City of New York is offering prisoners personal protective equipment and $6 per hour, which is an extremely high number for prison labor, to dig mass graves on Hart Island. The mayor's spokesperson told The Intercept that the mass graves being dug on the island are not COVID-specific, but the fact that they are being given PPE leaves little room for guessing that it's all about the pandemic. What's more, mass graves on Hart Island are part of the city's contingency plan for such times. The Free Thought Project reports that according to a 2008 plan developed by the city's late chief medical examiner, when regular city morgues were at or near capacity, the OCME will direct temporary internment at the Hart Island Cemetery, managed by the Department of Corrections as its second-tier approach. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva, who was sued by gun rights groups after trying to shut down firearms dealers in the wake of coronavirus concerns, is abandoning the effort. The sheriff on Monday said he's heeding a federal Department of Homeland Security advisory issued Saturday that listed gun and ammunition dealers as essential critical infrastructure workers. Villanueva called the non-binding memo persuasive. and announced that his department will not order or recommend closing businesses that sell or repair firearms or sell ammunition in the nation's most populous county. California Governor Gavin Newsom has said that each of the state's 58 counties can decide for themselves. A fetish website based in the United Kingdom donated its entire stock of disposable medical scrubs to an unnamed hospital in South England. The Mind Unleashed reports that MedFet UK said they were contacted by desperate health officials from the National Health Service, who were reaching out to anyone in an attempt to find basic protective equipment and clothing for health workers on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic. The company said it was scandalous that they were being sought out as a last resort supplier, and accused the government of being more unprepared for the current crisis than they are willing to admit. The company issued a statement that praised the efforts of the doctors, nurses, and other staff who are being forced to deal with such extreme circumstances. Last week, the popular adult website Pornhub donated 50,000 masks to healthcare workers in New York City, which has become the epicenter of the outbreak in the U.S. Meanwhile, workers at hospitals around the country have been told that they will be fired if they speak out about the lack of personal protective equipment at their facilities. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's a landmark day in the March for Equality here in America. Congress passed the Casinos for Fairness Act today, which gives every mistreated group in America the right to open a casino.
It worked with Native Americans, it will work for the rest of the country. If our society has kept you down, you will get a casino to pull yourselves back up.
Veterans will also have the right to open a casino as a replacement for costlier benefit programs.
I think it'd be nice to have a casino. I mean, I'd rather still be able to walk, but, you know.
While the majority of the country is hailing the Casino Act as a step forward, many Native Americans are objecting to the law.
We are still the most disadvantaged group in America. So all that we ask is that we be allowed to open whorehouses and start legally selling cocaine.
The bill raised the question of whether immigrants should be allowed to own casinos. After much debate, the legislature decided that they would not, but they will be able to sell sliced mango on the street without a vendor license.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
And we're going to piss off the internet tonight by talking about the coronavirus hoax. Probably going to get pulled from YouTube, blacklisted from radio stations, and because this guy doesn't believe it's real.
Yeah.
And this is the guy who contradicted himself in the video that I watched, which drives me crazy about conspiracy theorists just generally. But this one in particular, at the beginning, he says that, no one is sick. None of this is actually happening. It's just a show. And then 30 minutes later, he goes, but it's 5G. 5G is the reason that everyone is sick.
So I haven't watched the video, but I think I might be able to give some sort of defense at that because, for my show on campus, I'm known as the conspiracy guy. So let me live up to my title. What I think he might have meant was, and this is me going off wall, is that no one is getting sick by this mysterious super bug that they're calling COVID-19. But what he means by, so when he says that no one is getting sick, it's that there's no, whatever COVID-19 they're saying it does. Some people are saying it causes the testicles to degrade or the lungs. He said he might be implying that that's
Hold on. Because those are two very different parts of anatomy. I haven't heard anything about it affecting...
Alex Jones of the InfoWars show suggesting the testicle part. I haven't heard that either. But when he says it's the 5G, it's the 5G that's making people sick. So COVID-19, he might be implying that COVID-19 isn't making people sick, but the 5G itself is. So that's my...
It's possible. Having seen the video, I will say that I don't think that's what he meant, because that's how he didn't portray himself. This was the guy with the video compilation of the empty hospitals and things like that, and making the allegation essentially that these hospitals are empty.
Yeah, and 5G, for clarity, you're talking, this is the new band that most cell phones are on, and they're rolling out, right?
Yeah, and even before people talked about, like, I haven't really gotten too deep into how 5G is tied into coronavirus, although I've seen, like, the maps, right, where they say, like, Wuhan had 5G installed, and then they all got sick, and in Hong Kong, people are taking down 5G towers. Before the coronavirus, the bad thing about 5G was alleged to be the radiation that it was spreading. So I'm unsure, and I unfortunately haven't done enough research into seeing how 5G itself could be causing people to be getting sick. And this is one of the issues of the conspiracy community. It's like everyone has their own idea and theories, which is good, right? Because, people are thinking for themselves, but also bad because there's just like such like a deluge of information, right? Where people are saying that the virus of the COVID-19 virus has like Frankenstein stitches into it, which proves it was engineered in a laboratory, and it has like HIV, it has like DNA from HIV, which is why it's able to reinfect people. There's a lot of theories about this bug.
What disheartens me right now is just trying to Google, does Wuhan have 5G? All of these search results are, no, 5G didn't cause the coronavirus pandemic. That's not what I asked you, Google. I asked you a simple yes or no question. Does this area have the 5G coverage that the conspiracy theorists suggest it does? And based on these contradictory articles, the ones that contradict the premise, I'm going to say yes. Otherwise, it was just like, well, Wuhan doesn't even have 5G. So obviously the conspiracy theorists are nuts. So evidently, yes, it must be true that Wuhan does indeed have 5G.
Even on DuckDuckGo, I just typed in Wuhan 5G, the first article that pops up. And now DuckDuckGo, which is its own, it claims to be a superior search engine to Google, it doesn't have the news, because with Google, if you type in something, even if it's not under the news ticker, you have news articles pop up, right? And obviously, mainstream news articles. Even on DuckDuckGo, the first result is from fullfact.org. The Wuhan coronavirus has nothing to do with 5G. So the same thing is happening to DuckDuckGo too. That's interesting.
It's like their job isn't to determine what information I need, which is essentially what they're doing.
Well, some would say that Google's job is absolutely to do that, to act as a gatekeeper for what people know. I mean, I know we're not supposed to, right? As like, in the free marketplace of ideas, if it wants to be as good of a product as it could be, for a search engine. But Google is, was a Sundar Pichai, I think that's the guy's name is. Google is very well tied into the political establishment.
Certainly.
Yeah, through search engine optimization, it's easy to sort of game these search engines.
It is, but when I ask a question like, does this area have 5G, I would expect to get an answer. And not what Google has determined is the best data to contradict the conspiracies that ask similar questions.
Yeah, you could try 5G coverage Wuhan. See if that's any difference.
That. No, I bet it's not. Well, that is a good suggestion, but I bet it's going to be like exactly the same search results. So what else is going on with these conspiracy theorists?
They're crazy.
Well, yeah. Well, not all of them are crazy. Some of them are just, hey, your idea actually worked, at least for the first Google result. It immediately goes back into how the coronavirus has nothing to do with 5G, but the first one is about tracking 5G network rollouts.
Yeah, I shouldn't say they're all crazy. I mean, as far as conspiracy theorists, Alex Jones probably has a little bit to do with me getting to where I am now, but I can't listen to that anymore.
There's like degrees of graduation, right? Where it's like some people would start out with like Fox News, thinking they're edgy and like, oh, this is the real truth, Fox News. Then they move on to someone like Glenn Beck. then Alex Jones, then like Luke Rudowski of We Are Change, and then to the point where you become so you become like enlightened, right? You go to like the seventh level of conspiracy where you don't trust anyone.
Yeah, I would. The thing for me was getting
I used to be a
it.
fan of Alex Jones and Jesse Ventura. Jesse Ventura was generally about as far as I got, though.
I remember Jesse the Body.
Once Alex Jones went out there too much, I was like, yeah, okay, that's the seventh level, as Vincent was saying. I don't want to reach that.
Says a person who has a triangle, a pyramid, an all-seeing eye tattoo on their arm. I know what you're up to, Aria. I know you're.
Hey, I've got a giant satanic pentagram on my back. I mean, yeah.
Okay, all right. Then sometimes people could be too overt about it. Then like, okay, all right, this person knows.
Well, let's see. Here's my paperwork from the state about the Reformed Satanic Church.
Oh, that's right. Well, that's okay. All right, that's right. Although, before people start accusing me of like, oh, you're doing shows of Aria, Vincent, you're a shill, I'm not gonna listen to your show. Usually the real hardcore ones keep secrets. So I appreciate your honesty, Aria.
Can you do a good Alex Jones impersonation?
No.
I
have had people message me asking me to join the Illuminati, and and even better, back when I was actually active in music and was working with a few friends to open a recording studio, one of them actually did receive a big black-bound book in the mail containing secrets. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Containing secret handshakes and all kinds of crap like that.
Secret.
It was the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. He claimed to have no idea who sent it.
And why would they send him that book? Why do you think they would have?
Because he was joining the entertainment industry, presumably.
All right.
He was joining the music production industry. I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely are people.
But the book certainly existed. I saw it. I flipped through it. I wasn't allowed to take it, but I did see it. I held it. I looked at it. It was interesting, to say nothing else.
Entertainers definitely create lots of followers.
Yeah.
And you say it was black, right? It was
black.
It's like Jeffrey Epstein.
He was black. The book was black as well.
Jeffrey Epstein had the black book too. So was it leather also? Was it bound in leather?
No, it was one of those plastic soft cover ones.
Oh, okay. All right. I was thinking it'd be like a Necromonicon looking thing, of like bound of human skin.
No, I would have just taken that. Of like, no, this is mine now. Sorry, this is going on my bookshelf. Here's $50. Thanks. When they come for you, tell them where to find me.
So shall we continue reading this freakish?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Even Neil Ferguson of Imperial College London, who is the mainstream doctor or poster boy for this scandemic, has gone back and revised his prediction of 550,000 deaths in the UK to a mere fraction of his original prediction.
And that actually did happen. We meant to get into it yesterday, but there was just so much other stuff going on. But evidently the guy who initially said 500,000 in the UK revised that to just 20,000, which is a big deal. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
I have two dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time. DINOVITE.com. Dinovite is nutrition. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dinovite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dynovite dog, and he has 0 issues today. He won't eat his food without Dynovite. When I get out the Dynovite, my dogs actually salivate, like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dynovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
There are basically 2 types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
And have you heard of Intercoin? Intercoin is working to make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. If you missed your opportunity to get in on Bitcoin from the start, then here is your chance to join what might be the next revolution in money. Check out intercoin.org, and if you like what you see, pick up some of these coins for yourself. Just as the internet is a global network that connects local networks, Intercoin is a global currency platform that enables communities around the world to issue and manage their own currency so they may circulate it among their local population. So check out intercoin.org. That's INTER coin.org. Our listeners must know that Free Talk Live received $40,000 worth of Intercoin tokens by Intercoin Inc. for advertising. So getting back to this this guy who thinks that, well, I don't know, he hasn't yet described what he actually thinks.
He thinks it's the pandemic is a scam-demic, which I'm definitely reusing that the next time I have to stand behind a sneeze screen.
But to what extent? You know? Is it a scam because it's overblown, or is it a scam because it just is totally fabricated?
Dollar Vigilante, I would say, related to monetary policy, makes sense that this scam-demic is being used to gloss over the fact that right now there's a huge monetary bailout happening.
I've heard another one is the QAnon. What the QAnon people are saying is that the virus is cover for the deep state pedophiles being mass arrested by Trump and the patriots in the government.
Why would they need cover for that, though? I mean, most people would be cheering.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's ridiculous. And for people who listen to my evening show, just because I talk about something doesn't necessarily mean I believe it. But I mean, I want to believe it, right? And the thing is, it's like when people like Tom Hanks, Ellen DeGenerate, Oprah Winfrey, right? All of her shows were like canceled, and they were doing like streams from her house, and like they all looked awful, right? Like they looked like they were sick, or not even just getting out of bed, right? Their eyes are puffy, and so the theory was they were going through adrenochrome withdrawal. And we're talking about adrenochrome on national radio. We're getting really deep.
Now, what is this?
So adrenochrome is this chemical that's it's Hunter S. Thompson mentioned it in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and Fear and Loathing in the Campaign Trail. It's this drug that comes from, it's like a mythical drug. I believe it's real, but others don't. It comes from the adrenal gland, and the theory is that the satanic pedophile elites who control our society, that's their drug of choice because it's extracted from, Monsters, Inc., right? They powered their society off of the screams of the fear of children. It's like that with adrenochrome, right? So the elites would be using that adrenochrome to look young because, I mean, which they do already with blood transfusions, right? Like, take a look at the Queen of England, right? She's looked the same for the past 30 years. The Queen Mother, she's like in her 90s now. So that's the theory. I don't think it's true now, especially since a lot of these celebrities obviously haven't been arrested, as far as I know, unless Guantanamo Bay prison has a sound stage that they're all recording from. But yeah, that's one of the conspiracies about COVID-19.
Yeah, I'd go for it.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry, I didn't plan on going in to talk about adrenochrome today on FTL, but thank you. It's always an honor to talk about this on the national airwaves.
I like knowing what other people are saying in regard to these conspiracies and things like that, but I don't have the wherewithal to even start digging into it because it's just one rabbit hole after the other.
Oh, it's a whole warren. Yeah, it's a whole warren of rabbit holes.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't... Like, I saw a video of, I don't remember who it was, Simon Cowell, I think, the guy who hosts America's Got Talent or something like that. Cowell. And he looked awful. And one person said, I've heard theories about why this is happening, but there was no information beyond that. I was like, well, can you give me a synopsis of what people are saying, or do you want me to spend the next 6 hours Googling this and reading about satanic pedophile rings and things like that? I have better things to do with the next 6 hours than do that.
I don't.
So where are we at in this thing? I'm getting so lost. This doctor claims the number won't be more than 20,000 fatalities for COVID-19. Now that's a pretty drastic revision. To see or hear more about it, he lists a video down here. Everything is happening so quickly. There is so much disinformation being put out. It's difficult to cover even a tenth of it. This is a short write-up. So then he begins to plug his website, which is dollarvigilante.com. There's also a video there which shows some of the empty places where there's supposed to be a lot of, dead bodies in. Who knows? But there's
so he didn't actually go into the details within this article of the things that he did within the video.
No, the video's like probably 10, 15 minutes long, maybe?
No, the video was like an hour long.
Oh, all right.
It was long.
Maybe I'll watch 10 or 15 minutes of it.
Well, doesn't Jeff Berwick also live in Mexico? So isn't all the information that he's getting secondhand or third hand?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
for sure.
So that's I just want to let people know because I don't know if they still teach this in public schools, but the importance of the differentiation between primary sources and secondary sources.
Yeah, the video I do know lists the links to other videos or the actual original sources on it.
Well, I guess I will take a moment to describe the video then. For like the first half hour, he talks about how, the coronavirus is completely non-existent, how it's just a show that's being put on with the hospital tents and all of that. Then he provides evidence for that in other people's videos, this compilation that I mentioned earlier, where they went through and they found them to be completely and totally empty. And then he starts the crazy out of nowhere 5G thing, and the video topic just switches entirely while he features this video of some electrician talking about how electrical fields around the earth have an effect on human health. And 5G is an electrical field, and therefore, and it's like two videos.
Didn't make it that far.
It's like two videos put together into one with no recognition of the fact whatsoever that the first half of the video is about how no one is sick. And the second half of the video is an explanation of, allegedly, why everyone is sick, with no acknowledgement of the discrepancy between the two. And that's what I find is true among a lot of conspiracy theorists, is that they will say just completely contradictory things and not acknowledge it because they just want you to doubt the narrative.
Yeah, I myself am at fault of lapping stuff like that up and just sort of running with it.
Yeah.
Just assuming because that's their
I'm
platform.
sure we all have.
Yeah. And that sensational stuff sells.
I mean, I think one ought to be careful with using the term conspiracy theorist because, I mean, a conspiracy theorist, like, well, people, the behavior that people use that term to describe is also practiced by the mainstream media, by politicians. And I think from my understanding, maybe this is another conspiracy theory, the term conspiracy theorist was popularized by the CIA after the Kennedy assassination to discredit people who were suggesting that maybe it wasn't just some lone nut named Oswald and, Jack Ruby had nothing to do with it, even though he shot, the guy who did it. Yeah. So I just suggest caution.
Yeah. So as Alex Jones as you were talking about conspiracy theories about the conspiracy theorists, it's a crazy world. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
I just got off the phone with New York. We are the #1 network in the world. And it is an honor to stand before you at such an exciting time. We're stretching boundaries that will irreparably alter people's perception of what they are willing to watch. And our next season will offer tantalizing programming that plays seamlessly into the desire of our viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you just a taste of what ODS has to offer.
You know the rules. Grow a pumpkin or go home. Here's the twist. Only one of you has the real pumpkin seeds.
Are you a pumpkin or not?
You call yourselves pumpkin growers?
I know I didn't get the pumpkin seeds. I dug in there. They're bean sprouts.
Starting a pumpkin alliance. Anyone grows a pumpkin, we split the money.
Get out of my patch.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
And do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Well, now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Just download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. Again, that's anypayinc.com. Commissions are instant. There's no waiting for weeks or months for your payouts, no waiting until you reach a certain threshold before you can be paid. It's instant. Once more, that's anypayinc.com. Check it out. It's a great way to get people accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash. Plus, you know, they have the Bitcoin Cashback and Dashback program, so every purchase that users make at those places gets them back 10% of what they spent. AnyPay's great. That's anypayinc.com. Now, moving on, a Florida man is being Florida man, it would seem.
Yes. Florida man is issuing threats, forcing people to stay in their homes against a threat of violence. And this particular Florida man happens to be the governor of Florida. This article here is from the Huffington Post, published April 1st. And actually, I didn't check to see if this was an April Fool's Day, but probably not. Florida governor issues coronavirus stay-at-home order after mounting COVID-19 cases and public pressure. GOP Governor Ron DeSantis finally took a step he previously said he was waiting for the White House to order. So on Wednesday...
So hold on. The governor was waiting for the White House to order him to issue a stay-at-home order?
Yes.
I don't think that's the way any of this is supposed to work.
Well, no, but it's not. But in that case, it probably would have been better because I don't think Trump, unless things got like really bad, I don't think Trump would have issued a stay-at-home order. I mean, like as much as some people might not want to hear this, I mean, I'd say Trump has been more level-headed compared to a lot of the other politicians who are calling for like an 18-month shutdown. And so, but in this case, looks like Ron DeSantis caved into pressure from other Florida politicians as we get into here. And when I say I don't blame him, I don't think he's making the right decision, but I understand why he's doing it because we've been hearing the number one demographic that's at risk from COVID-19 are senior citizens in Florida. The state of Florida is a very popular destination for old people. So it makes sense that he's doing this in the light of a pandemic. So,
well, before we get back into it, or before we get further into that, let's go to the phones. We've got Stephen calling from Ohio. Stephen, you're on Free Talk Live.
You know, it's pretty funny. I was one of the people initially when the COVID outbreak happened that thought it wasn't that big of a deal and they were blowing it up. However, knowing people in the medical field now that are dealing with crowded hospitals, I don't understand how anybody couldn't be taking it seriously at this point. But I wanted to discuss one of the most interesting theories I had heard in recent times.
Your experience with people that you know is that the hospitals are indeed crowded and that it should be taken seriously.
Oh, especially in the area I'm in. So like Mahoning County, Ohio is like one of the biggest epicenters of the disease in the country. And a lot of hospitals, like a particular one is St. Elizabeth's in Youngstown, which is one of the largest hospitals in the area, which has seen a massive influx of people being admitted for COVID-19, and the hospital has gotten to the point where they've had to set out tents outside so that people that they suspect of having COVID, they just send them home because the hospitals are simply too overcrowded, and they're not going to be able to take care of anybody that have other illnesses. Like if you were to have a heart attack, they might not have staff on hand to help you with that.
Right. So all these people that may have a sneeze, sniffle, fever, ache, or something are now scared to death and think that they have this really threatening thing and are taking up space with people who maybe really have some real life-threatening issues.
Yeah, that's the main concern. Yeah, that's the main concern. And in all honesty, I think one of the conspiracies I had heard about it that seems really ridiculous to me is this idea of, oh my goodness, the government's using this in order to perpetuate martial law without actually declaring martial law to see how easy it is to keep people in their houses. I don't understand where that one even came from.
Well, here in not here, but in Vermont, which is one state over, I mean, they're have stopped people questioning, where they're going, what they're doing. I mean, you have other states that are putting up roadblocks and whatnot. I mean, at what point does martial law start?
They are bringing in the National Guard into places to back up police forces throughout the United States. I don't know what you consider martial law to be. But
there's some initial buildup to those things. I mean,
those things are happening.
Well, no, exactly right. But I mean, it's not like one day it's free as it is now, and then the next day it's just there's Humvees on the streets.
Yeah, it starts with being ordered not to go out unless it's essential. No, well, it starts with closing bars and restaurants.
Sounds like where we're at.
Then it proceeds to being ordered to stay at home. Then it proceeds to men with guns making you stay at home.
And then eventually, probably you could only get out if you have forced vaccinations, and if you have to have an RFID chip. Because if we're planning that, I have another story too. Sorry to cut you off, Stefan, but I think that's where it's going to. Where in order for people to go outside, because I mean, if this goes on any longer, I think there's going to be if they have like a forced shutdown for the entire country where everyone's forced to stay in, there's going to be riots and panic because I mean, people just won't people just won't accept it. They're going to say, okay, well, you can go outside if you get the vaccine that's going to keep you safe. But also we need to track who has the vaccine and who doesn't. So if you get the vaccine, you also have to get this bracelet or this RFID chip, or maybe the chip is even in the vaccine. So I mean, I think this is for endgame. But sorry, go ahead.
You believe the idea that this is a manufactured crisis in order to get people to submit to those sort of things?
Who are you asking?
I don't think it matters whether it's manufactured or not. The governments throughout history.
I was speaking specifically about the conspiracy, that the idea is this was created in a lab to get people to submit.
I understand. It's irrelevant. Whether it was created in a lab or whether it evolved in nature of its own accord, the government is going to use it in the same way. And that's to secure power over people.
Why didn't the federal government use this during the H3N2 outbreak a couple of years ago, which infected 45 million people and killed nearly 100,000?
Because the groundwork wasn't in place.
You don't think a few years ago the government had the infrastructure to keep people at home the way they do now?
They definitely don't. The average person was not carrying around GPS trackers everywhere they went. They weren't carrying around.
In 2018, people didn't have smartphones.
2018 did not have an outbreak.
Yes, it did. The H3N2 outbreak. That was one of the worst flu seasons we've ever had. They could have easily shut things down during that point. It was killing young, healthy adults.
I never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either.
The swine
flu?
You
didn't hear?
I mean,
that was H1N1. That was 10 years ago.
Keep up with it.
2009, yeah.
Yeah, this was the.
I've never
any old flu season, they could have used the infrastructure they had to do this. And the H3N2 outbreak a couple years ago was serious.
Also, H3N2 is the swine flu, and it affects birds and mammals. It mutated, but evident. I mean, it was not. Dude, 2 years ago, we were not anywhere near as panicking about viruses and crap as we are now.
Because it wasn't a scary Chinese virus. That's the only difference.
Well, China owns a lot of debt of the U.S., so maybe there's that,
What does
too.
the fact that it came from China have anything to do with anything?
Because it's easier to fearmonger people with it.
Okay, so you're the one making the allegation that the government is blowing it out of proportion
No, I'm saying the media is blowing it out of proportion, but I don't think that this was some manufactured crisis. I don't think that it was a manufactured virus. I was specifically speaking about the theory that they created it in a lab to control people, to impose martial law. I was talking about that crackpot theory.
Yeah,
I wasn't
and I'm telling
saying
you,
whether
it's
or not.
irrelevant. It's irrelevant whether it evolved in nature or whether it was man-made.
Do you think it's a bad idea to quarantine voluntarily?
I choose not to volunteer for quarantine. Yes. Whether that's a good idea or a bad idea for anyone else, I don't know. But I'm not self-quarantining. I have no intention of self-quarantining.
Survival of the fittest.
855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live. What do you think? Am I playing games with people's lives by not quarantining? 855-450-FREE.
Bags under the eyes, crow's feet, fine lines and wrinkles are things adults complain about as they age. Now there's Instantly Ageless. It works in minutes and is great for men and women.
I've probably noticed in the past 5 years that my eyes have gained a lot of fine lines, wrinkles, my crow's feet have gotten deeper. Wow. I was hoping for 5 years, but that's like what my eyes looked like 10 years ago.
That is really cool. Wrinkle gone.
It's easy. Just put it on your finger and go. Now I wish I had more down here because I can still see one wrinkle. It's bugging me.
I am a little bit emotional. Turning 40, I didn't think would be a big deal to me, but that looks like the me that I feel like inside instead of what I see when I look in the mirror.
Try Instantly Ageless today at gcnlife.com. That's gcnlife.com. 30-day money-back guarantee and preferred price discount at gcnlife.com. That's gcnlife.com.
Attention, fellow Americans. We are now at an all-time high risk of illnesses due to pathogens and viruses. So it's critical to take a proactive approach to boost your immune system. Do it with new nanocolloidal silver from Americare. Using a patented process with tiny silver particles 1/100th the size of a red blood cell that allows for maximum absorption, Americare's nanocolloidal silver effectively disinfects your body internally, attacking pathogens and viruses while supercharging your immune system. Colloidal silver is antibacterial and antiviral. Simply put, it inhibits bacterial respiration, suffocating viral cells, preventing the virus from replicating. And now, due to public health concern, Americare is authorized to offer our lowest and best price ever at around $1 a day. But supplies are limited. Purchase nanocolloidal silver now at immunesupportnow.com. That's immunesupportnow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Supplies are limited.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. And you can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in free of the coronavirus. With you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
Or rather, free of fear of the coronavirus. Because we may all be sitting here with this thing right now and not even know it.
Scamdemic 2020.
We may be asymptomatic, I don't know, or care. I mean, we may have already had it.
I would think that if it's there, we already have it. Yeah, I think so.
Based on the flu that I got earlier this year, I don't know. I think it was the worst flu I've ever had in my life.
I had a couple people in the house that they got really sick, so we've determined that they've already had the COVID.
I don't want to say that I have already had it, but it's a possibility.
Well, it's scary as hell, right? Like, this is really terrible, terrible thing. So I'm going to say that's what they had.
Well, it's the flu.
Yeah.
Well, in September, I got this cold that I got it 3 times, or it resurged 3 times, where every other week, right, I would heal from this cold. It would be in my chest. I'm asthmatic, so I always worry about that. I got sick 1 week, healed after 7 days. The next 7 days, I get sick again, heal for the next, and then I get, and that's why I was thinking maybe I caught some sort of like beta version or whatever of a coronavirus, because what used to be the most deadly thing about the coronavirus was that it could reinfect people after they don't have symptoms anymore and they think that they're healthy. And on campus too, and not just Kegsand College's campus, but all around the country, right? I have friends who go to school all around the country. I asked them, I said, hey, is everyone, or are a lot of people sick at your college this week? And this was like a January, February time frame, and they said, yeah, everyone I know is sick. Almost everyone I knew was sick. It was crazy, and this was right around the time the coronavirus was like raging in Wuhan, but the media, right, was still saying, "Oh, the worst thing that could happen is people being racist to Chinese people," before they started before they started fear mongering now. And so I'm like, and at the time I said, so now everyone's freaking out about this virus in China, but no one is talking about why like nearly everyone I know and every other people know, and obviously this is anecdotal, but still I think it's worth bringing up, is sick with some sort of regular cold or flu. That is what tipped me off, is thinking that there's something really, really odd going on.
Well, I remember when I was sick being told by people, oh yeah, they're saying that this is the worst strain of the flu that we've had in years. And my experience with it backed that up. I was sick for more than 3 weeks. At one point, I considered actually going to the hospital. I'm young and healthy, and I was considering going to the hospital over the flu.
It's because you got your flu shot, right?
No, of course I didn't get a flu shot. I'm young and healthy. Why in the world would I get a flu shot?
Well, because the doctors and the government says so.
Yeah.
I'll take my chances with the flu.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing, and I want to keep it that way.
When's the last time you had a flu shot?
When I was a little kid and I didn't have a choice in the matter.
Right. All right.
Anyway, let's go to the phones. We've got Dana calling from Maine. Dana, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, good show tonight, guys.
Thank you.
I wanted to take issue with some comments that were made recently on your show against police.
Sure.
My experience with cops is that most of them are, average, decent folks. Maybe they get into law enforcement for various naive reasons, maybe because of a family member, etc. But instead of blaming the cops, I contend that the biggest part of the problem is the result of the miserable, stupid laws that are promulgated by the Republicans and the Democrats, and that these cops are expected to enforce.
I would say the problem is both.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you're an 18-year-old kid, they get into law enforcement naive. I went to college I roomed or lived in a dormitory cluster with people who were in a law enforcement program, and I can just tell you that my experience with them were they were fairly decent folks. They were hellraisers. I was a hellraiser. I got along with most of them fairly well. I'm sure there's a few bad apples, and I'm sure maybe that they rise to the top just like any other government program. But
I think the bad
I'd like
apples
to say that the biggest part of the problem are the people writing the laws. If you're a cop and you're expected to enforce these stinking, look what Trump's doing with the drug war right now. Again, he's trying to ramp that up again. Here we've got a lot of so-called libertarians calling into your show that show affection for this boob of a president we've got. You don't you guys don't, I don't think in general, but there are some people I've heard call into your show who are who apologize for these stinking Republicans and Democrats. Sure. Nobody calls up and apologizes for the Democrats on here.
I think those laws that you're talking about are just in the bad cops, but maybe, you're saying that I've heard that before where people say, oh, well, it's not all of them. And the bad laws, those are all symptoms of how this thing is funded. It's stolen with money that's forcibly taken from people. So as long as you have a protection agency claiming to provide some sort of service that funds itself with money that was from coffers where it's been taken from people, stolen, taxation is theft, that organization's never going to have any sort of high moral compass.
I don't think it's fair to allow police to pass the buck for actions that they voluntarily choose to take onto someone else who they've voluntarily chosen to obey.
Right. They're just doing my job.
They didn't have to take those jobs to be police officers.
Heroes.
They didn't have to do any of that. They chose to. And as a result of their choices, they're out there aggressing against people and enforcing these laws that are unjust.
But they're a symptom of the problem. And that problem is taxation by theft. I think so many of these issues that we talk about day in and day out could be solved if we just found a different way to fund this thing. If you got to have a government fund it some way that you're not forcibly taking money from people.
Yeah. Maybe we could have an honest talk one of these days about our monetary order. I don't think that's really ever fully understood by. I can count on my hand the people in my life I have met who can honestly answer the question: who creates our money and how do they do it?
It's backed by the gold.
A really simple question.
Yeah, it's all backed by gold.
Now, Gray is joking. Gray is joking.
That was always a fraud too. That was always a fiction. The idea we ever had an honest gold standard.
It's created by a cartel of private banks known as the Federal Reserve Bank. And they essentially loaned the Federal Reserve notes to the U.S. government and to member banks at an interest rate that then gets loaned out to people out here in businesses to get it into circulation.
Although now that might change because Trump passed these new laws, which some people are saying effectively puts the Federal Reserve under control of the office of a president, the executive branch. And like was it, I think, for rumor I heard, I haven't had time to look into all the paperwork, unfortunately, but at the point of the show, but it's possible that Trump could order them to issue debt-free money. Or interest-free money, rather, excuse me.
Well, the interest rate is 0% now, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I zero, very close to zero.
I know the fractional reserve amount is also 0, so they don't have to actually have any money anymore. They can just create infinite amounts of money.
It's not the fractional reserve system, it's the fictional reserve system.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I've never heard Donald Trump, in all the times he's had his mouth open over all the years, I can't find anything he's ever said intelligent about the miserable monetary order we live under. Not once, not a peep out of him.
Oh, he loves
it.
He
doesn't get it. If anything,
well, there are tweets from him supporting Ron Paul's goal of auditing the Fed. There also was Ron Paul saying something about how the gold standard would benefit American society early on in his presidency.
But as soon as he became president, Trump loves the Federal Reserve because as a builder, and someone who has to deal with mortgages, right? The lower the interest rate, the better. So I mean, Trump loves a cheap, low interest money. So I mean, and that is one of the selling points too. When he was running and all the when they tried to get the outside the establishment people to support him, they said, "Oh, Trump's a businessman. He knows all about the Federal Reserve. He knows 9/11 was an inside job." And then as soon as he becomes president, it's, "Oh, I love the Federal Reserve," and "Oh, we're gonna get back those Muslims for 9/11," and he does a total 180. So I mean, I don't think I can't blame the people who got on board with Trump at least early on too much because I mean he did signal a lot of good things originally.
Yeah, but I mean, haven't we learned not to believe the Democrats and Republicans? I mean, how much more?
Or even the libertarians. I mean, you've seen Bill Weld.
What's that?
Or even believe the libertarians. I've seen Bill Weld. There are very few libertarians who I would trust to actually do libertarian things if they manage to win an election.
To represent you?
Yeah. Well, they're never going to be able to represent me, but they can at least actually implement a fiscally responsible budget and things like that. I would not trust Bill Weld to do that. I would not trust Gary Johnson to do that. I would trust John McAfee to burn the place down accidentally or on purpose. Anyway, Dana, thank you so much for the call. Always love discussing monetary ideas and the Federal Reserve and how they're bankrupting the United States and how no one seems to know anything about it.
We're going to find out.
855-450-3733. I hope you have something better than the USD.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,591, silver at $14.03, and Bitcoin is trading around $6,250. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Rikers Island prisoners are being offered incentives to dig mass graves. That's according to a report from The Intercept and confirmed by Avery Cohen, a spokesperson for the office of New York Mayor Bill de Blasio. The City of New York is offering prisoners personal protective equipment and $6 per hour, which is an extremely high number for prison labor, to dig mass graves on Hart Island. The mayor's spokesperson told The Intercept that the mass graves being dug on the island are not COVID-specific, but the fact that they are being given PPE leaves little room for guessing that it's all about the pandemic. What's more, mass graves on Hart Island are part of the city's contingency plan for such times. The Free Thought Project reports that according to a 2008 plan developed by the city's late chief medical examiner, when regular city morgues were at or near capacity, the OCME will direct temporary internment at the Hart Island Cemetery, managed by the Department of Corrections as its second-tier approach. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva, who was sued by gun rights groups after trying to shut down firearms dealers in the wake of coronavirus concerns, is abandoning the effort. The sheriff on Monday said he's heeding a federal Department of Homeland Security advisory issued Saturday that listed gun and ammunition dealers as essential critical infrastructure workers. Villanueva called the non-binding memo persuasive and announced that his department will not order or recommend closing businesses that sell or repair firearms or sell ammunition in the nation's most populous county. California Governor Gavin Newsom has said that each of the state's 58 counties can decide for themselves. A fetish website based in the United Kingdom donated its entire stock of disposable medical scrubs to an unnamed hospital in South England. The Mind Unleashed reports that MedFet UK said they were contacted by desperate health officials from the National Health Service, who were reaching out to anyone in an attempt to find basic protective equipment and clothing for health workers on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic. The company said it was scandalous that they were being sought out as a last resort supplier, and accused the government of being more unprepared for the current crisis than they are willing to admit. The company issued a statement that praised the efforts of the doctors, nurses, and other staff who are being forced to deal with such extreme circumstances. Last week, the popular adult website Pornhub donated 50,000 masks to healthcare workers in New York City, which has become the epicenter of the outbreak in the U.S. Meanwhile, workers at hospitals around the country have been told that they will be fired if they speak out about the lack of personal protective equipment at their facilities. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Medical experts announced that an Ebola vaccine is at least 50 white people away from being developed. The CIA is now ready to install a female world leader, and a sex toy is discreetly shipped in a plain dildo-shaped box. Rising to the top of the video news summary game through an unstoppable combination of glad-handing and payoffs, this is the Onion Week in Review. Reflecting on his accomplishments and questioning his current abilities, the Lord God Almighty, our Heavenly Father and Blessed Savior, told reporters that he was no longer confident whether he would be able to create the world in only 7 days. He who commanded light to shine from the darkness admitted that the mere thought of producing the entirety of the universe from nothingness, a task he once completed with time to spare, had become surprisingly daunting, and added that creating a small, lifeless moon or asteroid now seemed like a more realistic goal. In this week's science news, psychology comes to a halt as weary researchers say the mind cannot possibly study itself.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
And you know, I hate hearing about the coronavirus because it's all people talk about. It's all people want to hear about, but I don't want to talk about it.
Done.
Well,
let's talk about Bitcoin.
Easier said than done, for sure.
Let's talk about weed.
Yeah, whatever.
Do you have something on weed?
Guns and weed.
Well, I was just going to say, because before the coronavirus thing, a lot of people would complain. Like, I'd just be in a Discord and for like, well, it's was it Bitcoin and Weed Talk Live? And like, even I think I saw like, it's like Urban Dictionary or one of these things. I just typed in Free Talk Live to see if there was an entry. And it's like, even made jokes about just like the sheer, just how often and for how long and in-depth discussions on cannabis and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin to a point where some people would think that it's a little bit excessive. So, like, for a period of time, the coronavirus talk was somewhat of a welcome break for that for some people, because, you know, we'd talk about, like, medical tyranny, martial law and such, and now it's the opposite. It's, like, too much of a good thing.
Well, I don't know. Everyone has their own interests and passions. You know, everyone brings something different to the show. Gray and I, we love our Bitcoin.
Yes.
And so does Ian. And so do several of the hosts here. And I saw something today that really caught my attention because I also love Monero because it's a privacy coin, with the first privacy coin.
By default.
Yeah. And according to the Bitcoinist, there's pretty good evidence to suggest that Satoshi Nakamoto, the anonymous creator of Bitcoin, also created Monero. Getting into it, new research by Monero Outreach concludes that Bitcoin and Monero might be the creation of the same person. Monero is a cryptocurrency that came out in 2014 to address Bitcoin's privacy issues. Now, for those unaware, Bitcoin has major privacy issues.
So I hear.
Yeah, every transaction ever made is traceable back to the original source of that Bitcoin. It's had improvements with HD wallets, which is every time you receive cryptocurrency, you receive a new wallet address. But at the end of the day, all of that is going to be tied to you and your online presence in some manner. And it's going to be traceable back to you with enough work. There are mixers and things like that. But ultimately, it can all be traced.
Yeah, there are companies that are profiting off this traceability.
There are, and some of them work for the government. So that's what caused Monero. The former uses a public ledger. Yes, Monero uses a public ledger, so no one can trace transactions on it, which makes XMR, that's Monero, the most used coin among dark web users. Monero's white paper was published in 2012, about 3 years after Bitcoin's Genesis block. The author of the white paper is Nicholas von Saberhagen. As you might guess, this is a pseudonym, so no one knows who created Monero. Monero Outreach suggests that Satoshi Nakamoto and Nicholas von Saberhagen are the same entities. The main argument provided by the research authors is that Nakamoto had a clear motive to release the CryptoNote white paper, the document laying out the Monero concept. In a Bitcoin Talk forum post from August of 2010, Nakamoto shared the first concepts of privacy that would later show up in Monero's white paper, including stealth addresses and ring signatures, which hide receivers and senders. Now, that's not definitive proof in any direction. Someone could have just come along and seen that idea and said, hey, this is a good idea, this Nicholas von Saberhagen person, and then went on to create Monero. That doesn't mean they're the same person, right?
Yeah,
One person had an idea and he made it public.
Yeah, I always thought Monero was a fork of BTC, or at least the code anyway. It's not like you got one for one when it forked. But
no, Monero was built from the ground up.
Excellent.
There are some like Zcash that are forked from Bitcoin,
okay,
but Monero was built from the ground up. Besides this, when CryptoNote 1.0 came out, Nakamoto had already observed that Bitcoin's block size changes and mining reward halving, which created problems, and Monero's blockchain addresses those issues. It also improved the proof of work to make mining more available to anyone using typical GPUs. Bitcoin mining, of course, is impossible unless you have tens of thousands of dollars to spend on a specialized machine that's only going to be able to mine Bitcoin for like 6 months.
Yeah, I've got a little CPU miner now mining some Monero.
Really? A CPU miner?
Yep.
Cool.
Had someone custom build that. Well, I didn't have them do anything, but that's what they do for... That's their gigs, is building and whatnot, doing all sorts of crypto-related stuff. And anyways, it's a Monero miner.
When I'm not playing any video games, that's what my computer does. It just sits there mining Monero for me.
Yeah, I think I get like 30 to 50 cents a day, maybe.
Really? That's not bad. That doesn't pay for the electricity costs I would have. It doesn't for me.
No, I don't think I'll ever break even. Well, I probably will break even after the wheels have fallen off. All this money is being pumped into the system.
Come to think of it, it would be better for me to just save that money and just buy the Monero instead of mining it, because that would be cheaper.
Yeah, I like the idea of if you're mining, at least, let's say if you're mining at break even, like the power costs as much as the equipment and everything else, you're still using the power company as the exchange. So you're giving them the money, yet in return, you're getting the crypto.
But I'm not breaking even. But I'm not breaking even when I play like Resident Evil 2 either. So I mean, I don't care. That's just the cost of having a good time.
Right.
And I guess mining Monero for me constitutes a good time. I don't know. It makes me happy knowing that I'm sitting here doing a show and my computer is back at home doing work for me.
Yeah, it's not just that it's doing work. I mean, it's like that your computer's helping to provide freedom for somebody somewhere because your computer is participating in the network that completes these transactions.
Yeah, that's a beautiful sentiment.
Well, that's why I like BTC or crypto in general. I mean, you can leave anywhere at any time with all of your funds stored in your head, show up anywhere in the world, and you're ready to go. You didn't have to declare anything.
Excellent points. When analyzing the writing style, however, of both of these white papers, one can notice a style connection between the two. And this is something that I'm going to look into later tonight because I am, of course, a actual trained writing editor. So I will be able to spot things like this. Word choices and things like that are incredibly important. But these guys used Stylometry, a software program called Java Graphical Authorship Attribution, and figured out that the author of the CryptoNote white paper was more likely to be Nakamoto than any of the other 15 leading papers. So they took a bunch of white papers and they compared them to Monero. And the software said, hey, this one here, the Bitcoin white paper, is most likely to be the same author. Now, what most likely means among those 15, who knows? Was it a 100% match? Was it a 99% match? I don't know. And they don't specify. Some similarities are visible to the naked eye. For instance, both white papers use the spelling of favor and favorable with a U, the contraction can't instead of the typical style observed in academically formatted papers, which would be cannot, and the wording in this paper, comma, we. But that one in particular is more likely to be someone who's just trying to mimic Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think somebody smart enough to come up with a white paper for either one of those could be capable of doing that.
Yeah. Also, both documents used black and white line drawings with solid and dashed lines. And that's what I love about the Bitcoin and the Monero white papers. Never having analyzed them to see if they were different, I have read them, and what I loved about them is that they are technical documents. If a cryptocurrency releases today, the white paper is not a technical document. It's an advertising brochure.
Yeah, right.
But these were actually technical documents designed to produce a technology that solved a problem, not a quick get-rich-quick scheme.
And it's solving lots of problems.
However, research authors don't expect that the Bitcoin or the Monero communities will embrace this revelation. Like many, I'm still processing this. I will, though, say with confidence that if Satoshi Nakamoto is Nicholas von Saberhagen, then Monero was Satoshi's greatest work. All in all, the main conclusion is that Craig Wright must be a genius. Craig Wright, of course, is the guy we talked about earlier claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto. And he's not. He's nuts. Anyway, this is Free Talk Live. We'll be back in a moment with more interesting discussions. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward Liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the Liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and you can call in to talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733, and with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
And the next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly into your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes that allows anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in more than 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more about it at divvyproject.org. That's DIVI project.org. And the governments around the world love tracking people. Now, we've seen this in, I can't even remember the name of the countries now.
They like keeping track of their slaves.
But there are several countries that are using apps and things like that in order to monitor people who are supposed to be under quarantine. And it's basically, you're carrying around a house arrest anklet in your pocket.
Yeah, it's certainly a chip.
If they choose to use it that way. And according to this story, the UK government is seeking to use it that way.
Absolutely, yeah. This is from Sky News, which to my understanding is like the equivalent of Fox News of the UK. It's a more sort of like center-right Government set to release contact tracking app which detects nearby virus carriers. The app, which will operate on an opt-in basis, will be released either just before or just after the lockdown is lifted. This was published yesterday, or at least yesterday UK time. So the government is preparing to release an app which alerts people if they came too close to someone who has tested positive for COVID-19, Sky News can reveal. But, and because my understanding is the parliament or somehow the government's able to control what sort of news gets released, so that's why they say can reveal. They don't have like the freedom of press like we do in the United States. The contact tracking app, which will operate on an opt-in basis, will be released so they repeat that. National Health Service bosses hope the app will attract more than 50% of a population, as large numbers of people using it together will be necessary for it to work effectively.
And so the goal of this app will be for the user to be alerted if they come in contact with a user of the app who has the virus.
Yeah, they can start freaking out.
Why would a user of this app who is violating all of the quarantine crap use the app?
For Queen and Country, because they're a good citizen, right? Because, they don't want to get other people sick.
They like the taste of the boot.
Well, I mean, like when I saw this article, I just assumed that it was going to be mandatory because, like, there's no way that this could work the way as it's intended without, one, having almost everyone in the country tested, or two, this being mandatory. And they're saying it's on an opt-in basis because if it was, if they force everyone to have it at this point now, that would be like people would be saying it's Orwellian. People, even in the UK, more popularly known as Cuck Island, right? Because like every square inch of its metro area is monitored by CCTV cameras. But I think by making it mandatory, at least until there's like thousands or millions of deaths, I don't think I don't think any government will have the power to do what the Chinese are doing. At least until you just see people just dropping dead in the streets.
What do you mean that they don't have the power to do what the Chinese are doing in terms of their digital surveillance?
When I say the power, I mean for the political power, right? Like the political capital to spend to force people to, wear trackers or force people to get tested if they don't want to, until there's some sort of mass deaths that'll scare people so much to the point where they'll essentially beg the government to force everyone to get a vaccine or force everyone to be tested. It reminds me of the plot, the movie V for Vendetta, right? What made the British government become tyrannical and let the John Hurt's character take power was a virus that it turns out in the movie, spoiler alert, everyone who hasn't seen V for Vendetta, was released in 2006.
I've not seen it.
Oh, well.
Really?
Oh,
so,
my.
So essentially, so this won't spoil it, but the government, a virus, a very convenient virus, allowed the government to take power because it capitalized off of people's fear. And I just realized that's very similar sort of to what's going on now.
That's identical to what's going on now, it sounds like.
November is coming, right? Like, so there's what is it? Remember the 5th of November? Yeah, that's basically.
What happens on the 5th of November?
I don't want to spoil the movie.
Yeah, it's in a trailer, but
okay.
I think that's the day things started really to pop off in the movie.
I'm on a hiatus from drinking, and I'm not going to go home and watch a movie without drinking. But the two of you are making me want to go home and watch FIFA.
I think you'd like that one.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say there's required viewing for Free Talk Live, but it's something. I mean, at least it's a movie that Ian would reference a lot. Ian has like a box of Guy Fawkes masks. He has like 20 Guy Fawkes masks, which is the mask that
the anonymous mask.
Yeah. It's more popularly known as the anonymous mask, but in the UK it's called the Guy Fawkes mask. Is based off of this historical figure named Guy Fawkes, who literally back in the 1600s, before they had plastic explosives, he tried to blow up Parliament the old-fashioned way using gunpowder.
Yeah, but he wanted to impose a religious dictatorship.
I mean, it was at the time he was opposing the Stuarts because they were pro. So yeah, Guy Fawkes was a Catholic, And the way in the I think it was England at the time, I don't think it was the United Kingdom yet. But what England would do, Scotland and England had joined crowns. They would, whatever religion the ruler was, everyone would have to follow that. It wasn't until later in history that was changed for the most part. But yeah, and so it used to be, the Catholics would prosecute like the Lollards or any heretics. Then when Church of England was established, they would persecute the Catholics. And so Guy Fawkes wanted to blow up Parliament to stop the persecution of Catholics, just so they could have most likely a Catholic government once again. And it continues the cycle of abuse and persecution.
All right. So what's going on in the United Kingdom now?
So the existence of the app, which was first revealed by Health Service Journal, has been known for some time, but key technical details have only recently been agreed by NHSX, the NHS, National Health Service England Innovation Unit, leading the project. The app will detect other phones in close vicinity using short-range Bluetooth signals, then store a record of those contacts on a device, the sources say. If someone tests positive for COVID-19, they will be able to upload those contacts, who can then be alerted after a suitable delay to avoid accidentally identifying an individual via the app. This method means data is not sent regularly to a central authority, potentially easing concerns around privacy, which NHSX fears may slow adoption of the app. NHSX plans to appoint an ethics board to oversee the project, with board members to be identified over the coming weeks, because if there's anything governments are very well known for, it's having their great ethics boards.
Yeah, Newt Gingrich is an excellent example of that, of course. He was he was fired from the ethics committee in Congress or something like that for
being unethical?
They have to be unethical to get the job, though, right?
Yeah, already.
This is Free Talk Live. What do you think about this GPS tracking and these Trojan horses that we're carrying in our back pockets? These house arrest anklets, 855-450-FREE.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McAlvany ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Are you making sense to the boomer mindset? I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. 80 million baby boomers comprise 25% of the population and control most of the USA's wealth. As aging parents pass on, they'll control more. Boomers are 46 to 65 years old and regard themselves as midlife. They identify as neither young nor old. They're post-minivan and pre-retirement, and they don't like being called boomers. They think me. Many of the purchases boomer couples make are individual purposes. They've been experimenters all their lives. If you want their attention, tell stories and keep it simple. If something seems complicated, boomers can dismiss it as, I don't need this. And if you're looking for work, you may be applying to a boomer, so relate accordingly. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
You know, the next few months are going to be interesting, but if you're not afraid of dying of a virus by surrounding yourself with other peaceful, loving people, then you should come up to ForkFest 2020 at Rogers Campground from June the 29th until July the 5th. Now, ForkFest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and ForkFest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. And there's probably a decent chance that the Porcupine Freedom Festival may actually be canceled.
No.
I have no inside information about this, but based on all of the other canceled events that were going to take place in June, I would be shocked if the Porcupine Freedom Festival goes on.
It's a Live Free or Die project. You can't not have the festival.
Well, the Free State Project Inc. has a public image to uphold.
Yeah.
At all costs.
So I guess we'll find out.
We will. But ForkFest, as far as we know, is ongoing. It can only really be canceled if Rogers Campground closes. So come check it out. It's June the 29th until July the 5th. And where better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire. If you're planning an event for ForkFest, though, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with others via the unofficial Telegram chat or the ForkFest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. Again, forkfest.party. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. It might be the only event that takes place this year. So
yeah, I imagine Rogers will be. They'll be happy to see people showing up
if they're allowed to have people show up.
Well, I haven't heard of any deaths from Coos County yet. That's via a northernmost county here in New Hampshire. That's where Rogers Campground is. It's mainly been just like southern New Hampshire. That's where people have been infected. So, I mean, and one would think, just like in what was I Am Legend, the safer areas of the country would be to be sparsely populated, sort of more remote rural counties. So, I mean, I think there is a chance that it could stay open, but if not, it'd be a real shame.
Well, I doubt that a camping ground would be considered an essential business, would be my concern.
Well, if people live there, it's pretty essential. I mean, there are people that permanently resident there through the warm months, I believe.
We'll see. Time will tell. I don't expect it to be closed. I mean, especially by June the 29th.
Yeah,
but
so far my experiences of being there, they have been, pretty liberty-oriented, especially the guy who runs it. I mean, I remember the time.
Yeah, but if the government says, hey, you can't be open, I don't expect Rogers Campground to be open.
Well, let's hope that they don't say that, and if they do, he says, hey, y'all watch this.
I know, I'm just preparing people.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that Fork Fest would not go on is if it literally could not, because the place where we were supposed to have it has closed. Anyway, let's go to the phones. We've got Tom calling from New Hampshire. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, a couple of observations here. First of all, in a few weeks, the people who are on unemployment are going to get a $600 a week bonus in every unemployment check, making them a whole lot richer than the people who are working. And it's going to be really tough to find good help because the people who are on unemployment are going to say, why should we go put our lives on the line to make less money than if we take the safer route and stay home?
Well, pay them higher wages.
It's going to be a lot.
If the demand for jobs goes down because people are getting paid more to stay at home, then you can counteract that by raising the wages.
That's right. And it's going to be very inflationary. But one thing I want to observe, kind of make a comparison here about Donald Trump, is when I was 5 years old, my mother scolded me, you got to fasten your seatbelt in case we crash. And I replied, well, it doesn't matter, Mommy, because we never crash. And she said, well, we might. And she went on to talk about a neighbor that was involved in a crash and got hurt. And, I was thinking, well, she doesn't understand. That's them. That's not us. We never crash. And, the idea that we might crash, I was 5 years old, and that's the way 5-year-olds think. And the difference between me and Donald Trump is that over the years, I grew up.
And Donald Trump is still just a man-child?
He was just going on like, we got everything under control. There's a handful of people out west that got infected, and we got it all under control. He just would not believe that there could be a full-blown national and international disaster on his hands in a few weeks. He just, everything will just go away. He is a baby.
Well, there wasn't a full-blown national disaster on his hands until the state governments throughout the United States created it for him by shutting down half of the economy.
Well, they shut down the economy, but and people, it's not all his fault because
it's not at all his fault. It's the fault of the governors that shut down the businesses that was the shutting down of the economy. That's who's at fault here.
Well, but the spread of the virus is the failure to prepare for with testing kits, and the testing kits that they had were faulty, and there wasn't a quick jump on this and keep it as contained as possible.
I don't want the government jumping on this to keep it contained. I want them to stay the hell out of the way so that I can be free.
But there were companies that wanted to produce these kits that were prevented from doing so by the government.
Sure, that's the government getting in the way and preventing me from being free, though.
That's right. And so that was the other part of it was, he didn't care about people, being free to make coronavirus testing kits or COVID-19 testing kits.
Shocking. Republican president doesn't care about whether people are free.
Of course not. The Republicans, and by the way, don't be too surprised if the states jump on this opportunity to prevent third parties from getting on the ballot, because to get on the ballot, you have to submit all these hundreds or thousands of signatures of registered voters, and how can you go around and collect them when it's illegal to do so? And so by imposing these restrictions on third parties, when the Democrats and Republicans simply submit their list, or if you're registered in New Hampshire, Democrat or Republican, you just pay the filing fee and sign your own name to get on the ballot. But that's not so with libertarians.
Well, there's no third party that's really worth being on the ballot anyways, so that's low on the list of totem poles for concerns as far as I'm concerned.
And in independents, though, you might have some good independent people who wanted to run as an independent candidate for state senate or governor or Congress, and they can't get on the ballot unless they get all these signatures of registered voters, and they can't go around and collect the signatures now, and the state is going to say, oh, goody, now the Republican Party will have a monopoly on ballot access.
The election, however, is like 7 months away. Based on what I'm seeing from people who are in quarantine right now, they can't take 2 more weeks of this 2 more months and there will be bodies in the streets because they're going to be on killing sprees or suicide binges.
Well, here's this. You get, a couple more, maybe a month or so more of this craziness, and then you have a little bit of pick back up in the economy, and now everybody gets their free money, and so now in November, Trump gets painted as the hero of this thing, and now he gets an easy win anyways.
Not only that, but if he's talking about 200,000 people are going to die, and it turns out to be 50,000 people died, then everybody's going to say, oh, wow, good thing we had Trump and the government to jump on it when it wasn't the government's job in the first place, and the government's response, as it was disastrous.
Well, you're right, but people are going to say that anyway. You're going to have Democrats who say, yeah, but 50,000 people died because Trump didn't act quickly enough. It should have been only 20,000. And you're going to have Republicans saying the opposite. Oh, well, it should have been 100,000, but thank goodness Trump acted quickly. So,
well,
I mean, whatever.
The Democrats are saying it's the Republicans' fault, and the Republicans are saying it's the Democrats' fault, and they're both right.
Yeah. Excellent point, Tom. They are both right. It is both Republicans and Democrats' fault that we are in the situation that we're in. But for me, the biggest concern isn't the virus. It's the panic.
Boogeyman.
It's the shutdown of the economy because of governors reacting to the virus that is the problem. What do you think? 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our made in the USA microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part? Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California, May 29th to June 1st for the Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, an epic weekend of exploration into UFOs, ancient civilizations, crop circles, and so much more. Over 150 lectures, panels, workshops, and events with leading experts: Paul Hellyer, Linda Moulton Howe, Nick Pope, Emery Smith, Stephen Greer, Russell Targ, Doc Wallach, Leslie Kane, and more. Get your tickets at contactinthedesert.com. It's time to make contact. Contactinthedesert.com.
Free Talk Live.
Do you think it's a respectable job to go around and threaten people over parking somewhere?
You're intentionally misrepresenting what a parking attendant does.
What do
I
they
don't
do?
think they threaten people in that manner. They write tickets.
What do you think a ticket is?
It's a little annoying.
The ticket's a threat.
This is why I think you come off so bad in those videos. This is not how people act in the real world. It's very unusual.
The parking enforcers are issuing threats, and that's what a ticket is. If you don't pay the ticket, there's a consequence behind that. They'll tow your car. In some cases, they'll boot your car. It depends on what city. The people that work downtown, a lot of them loved the Robin Hooders because the Robin Hooders would regularly save. These are the people who are putting change in expired parking meters downtown. They would regularly save downtown denizens, people who are working or living downtown, from getting multiple parking tickets every month.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And Gray.
And Vincent.
And I want to say thank you to Freedom Rider, who is tonight's amplifier. That means he's a member of the AMP program that you can find at amp.freetalklive.com. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. It's money that we use strictly to advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live to help us get on more radio stations and to get more listeners on YouTube and Twitch and D Live and all of that. So if you like the show, if you like what we're doing, you may consider heading on over to amp.freetalklive.com and becoming a member. It comes with a number of cool perks like the AMP-only Facebook group, the AMP-only chat room on the Discord server, and other cool little things like that. So, and we only ask $5 a month. So Freedom Rider, thank you so much for your support, and we hope you continue amplifying the show.
Yes, thank you very much.
Now, before we get to the caller we have on hold, evidently Vermont has just decided that they can tell stores what they can and can't sell. Vermont is telling, I got to get the headline here because it says it best. Walmart, Target, Costco have been ordered to stop in-person sales of non-essential products in Vermont. So Vermont has created this list of things that it has determined to be essential. And if something you want isn't on that list, you can't go to the store and buy it, such as clothing, consumer electronics, books, furniture, and sporting equipment. I'm sorry, if you're going to lock people up at home, electronics and books are critical.
I would think so.
They're definitely essential. They can still sell non-essential items online via telephone, delivery, and curbside pickup. But you
can't go to the store and buy all of our stuff anymore. That's what you're saying. That's what the article's saying.
Does Walmart offer curbside pickup?
There's a store in Claremont that they upfitted a couple years ago that's freakishly like that on the right side. Yes, they do. It has little Sonic drive-in type things that you pull up in, and I haven't actually experienced it, but it does exist.
Plus, I mean, a lot of this can be bought online, honestly. I buy almost all of my clothing online. It's going to ship one day, but that's why the in-store purchases are better, because the shipping industry is crippled. Everything I've ordered within the last month is simply in the state of label printed, no update.
I think some of these things, I mean, like I don't want some bureaucrat telling me what I can and can't buy at the store. But some of the sort of results of some of these business models become a little more efficient, because think about all the space that Walmart takes up on the inside, where a lot of people know what they're going to get anyways. So if they were to just sort of tap it in an app, show up, and somebody bring it out to the car, it's a little more efficient. But I don't want to be told I have to do that.
Excellent point. Well, let's go to the phones. We've got Liberty Phoenix calling via discord.freetalklive.com. Liberty Phoenix, you're on Free Talk Live.
Good evening, folks. So we've seen a whole bunch of government ridiculousness over the last month or so, and I about had a stroke last night when I covered this article on my show that I've started doing, and it's if the world is so like, oh my God, everyone's going to die, coronavirus is going to kill everyone, we'd have to shut down the economy so bad, and like we're in such need of hand sanitizer. It's out. I mean, we're gonna rob this poor kid who spent $17,000 on hand sanitizer. We need it so bad. Then please explain to me why the FDA is now holding up distillers who have switched from making alcohol to making hand sanitizer. They're prohibiting them from making it, and they're slowing down production of it.
Yeah, something really weird just happened to your call quality, and it became really weird. So thank you for the call. That's an excellent question. You know, if hand sanitizer is so badly needed, and I see Vincent holding up his little bottle of hand sanitizer for everyone to see, then why is the government stopping distilleries that already have the equipment in place to make hand sanitizer from making hand sanitizer? I don't know, because the government's stupid, I guess, is the best answer I can come up with.
Like if I wanted to, there's enough conspiracies out there, but I mean, I understand why people might think that this whole, coronavirus thing is being blown out of proportion by the government on purpose, because you'd see during like Trump's coronavirus task force meetings, like a few minutes after or before, they would say, don't touch your face, right? Don't shake hands. You would see these people touching their face, coughing into their hands, shaking each other's hands, and they're not. And this was several weeks ago, and they're not sick today. They're not dying, and so as he brought up, the FDA and DEA rating distilleries for making hand sanitizer. Like, I think if this was as an apocalyptic Stephen King's The Stand sort of situation as the media wants us to believe, then the FDA would be encouraging people to be making hand sanitizer in stills in their bathtub. I mean, so this is stuff like that, stories like that makes me really question how serious this thing actually is.
I would agree. Well, let's keep going. We've got David from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, continuing to promote New Mexico as a travel destination. I believe that the New Mexico governor, Wuhan Grisham, is now the only governor in the U.S. that has labeled gun stores as non-essential. I believe that all the rest of the states have now placed them as essential, but
even Illinois.
Well, Los Angeles County has said that they're not essential, if I recall correctly, but the state of California presumably said they were essential. I don't know.
Yeah. One take on that is one more good way to attempt to put small business gun sellers, which all of the good ones are, put them out of business, is if you can have an extended halving of their business for 3 months, 6 months, whatever it takes, you're going to put a good dent in their ability to stay open as a gun seller, and I would allege that that's part of the plot. So,
now, I'm from a family of people who owns gun stores. A gun store. They were redneck hillbillies from Mississippi, so it was called Confederate State Arms because, of course, it was. But
is it still called Confederate State Arms?
It's no longer active.
Okay.
But I remember my uncle having to do things like, and this was happening over dial-up, like go online to find the FBI's phone number to contact actual FBI agents to do background checks and crap like that. That was already a big enough roadblock in his ability to sell someone guns. And,
right.
And they didn't even have a storefront at that time. But a storefront now, if they hadn't gone out of business because I don't know why they went out of business. I was too young. But now being closed, while places like Guns and Ammo or whatever are still doing just fine because they have corporate bailouts coming, it's disgusting.
Right. Yeah, and that's part of the overall plot, along with minimum wage and all the other requirements that small business give various benefits. I believe it's an attempt to put the small business out of business because, once again, small business doesn't play ball like corporations do in terms of giving kickbacks to political candidates, et cetera, and then sending their lobbyists in to get favorable regulation to their corporate operations that are detrimental to the little guy, and completing the cycle, putting the little guy out of business, and more of the money goes to the corporations, and they play ball and just goes round and round.
I've got a question for you, David. I've got a question.
Yeah.
Are gun stores essential?
Well, absolutely.
Why?
Why? Because for all of the reasons we don't have time to go into, guns and defense and weaponry and all of that is essential. Otherwise,
well, the right to free speech, the right to free assembly, the right to free religion, none of that has proven to be essential in the last 2 weeks.
Well, we all know that it is. It's like the Supreme Court on pornography. I can't describe it, but I know it when I see it, and they're absolutely essential.
So you're just going to assert that they're essential without giving me a reason that they're essential?
Well, I just did. You don't. Well, first of all, you're at the end of the program. You don't have time to go into it. But the if you don't have weaponry to compete with your enemy, your enemy will do you in, and your enemy is your government.
Yeah, you have the right to protect yourself. So in my mind,
you
that
also
makes
have
it
the right
essential.
to assemble. You have the right to run a business. You have the right to go into a restaurant and sit down and eat food. None of that matters right now in the eyes of the state or in the eyes of the statists out there. So by what mechanism are governments taking away people's right to assembly, right to free speech, and right to religious gatherings, while simultaneously saying that their Second Amendment right is essential?
To protect against looters, I'd say. Or, I mean, if they said that the Second Amendment wasn't essential with all the others, I think that would be the tipping point, right? They have to watch out for a tipping point of what's going to make the American people, or at least the ones who are awake, crack. And I think the Second Amendment definitely is one of those fault lines.
And I'm not saying I think gun stores are not essential. I think if something is essential to your life, then it's essential. But I'm curious what reasoning governors are using to say that gun stores are essential. I guess I'll have to look into it. Head on over, though, if you like the show, to amp.freetalklive.com or just check out the archive there going back more than 10 years. That's freetalklive.com.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now's your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a